Hello and welcome to Aura Talks. My name is Leandra. I'm a human design specialist and I work in the holistic health field. And in this video, we're going to talk about something called transits and what that means in the context of human design. So if you have not done so yet, I would highly suggest to check out one of my first videos, so what is human design and how to read your body graph, because that will actually help you understand this video even better. So what we're seeing in human design is when we look at our chart, when we calculate that, is a graphic that we call body graph. And to your right and to your left side of the body graph, you see a set of information. You see symbols of all the different planets, and after that there comes a number. The two sets of information is your energetic blueprint that you have gotten from the celestial beings in the moment of your birth and 88 days before you were born. And these two sets of data create your body graph, meaning the outline on your energy system. The whole body graph itself describes a human as all the potentials and all the aspects that we need in order to be human, and everything that is colored in your body graph describes your individuality in that aspect of being human. And therefore we all have certain energies that are activated within us that we are bringing to the table in this lifetime, but we also have some parts of us that are so-called open, where we are receptive for energy from the outside world, where we're here to learn about these parts of being human by being an observer, by not consistently having that energy, but sometimes tapping into that energy. And there's two different ways on how we can learn about these energies. And one of them is through relationships. And I'm talking about all sorts of relationship, or even just being in the presence of other people. Because when we are in the presence of other people, there is a constant exchange of energy, meaning we are givers and receivers of energy, and so is every other human being. And therefore, a unique energy pattern between two people always gets created when two or even more people are coming together. And therefore, we will receive the energy of other people and therefore understand what that means. And for that moment of being together, can tap into the energy of other people. That functions in many different ways. For ones, we sometimes have a so-called channel in our system, and every type besides the reflector, who is completely open in terms of their center activations, has minimum one channel. So you will have a channel that always connects to activated centers. That's why they're activated, because there is an energy exchange between them. And maybe you have two centers activated, or you even have all 9 centers activated in your body graph. That is very unique. However, you will, if you're not a reflector, have a channel in your system. That means that energy can already within your system flow in effortless ease and exchange information, exchange energy within yourself. But then we all also have so-called gates, and we call them hanging gates, meaning they're hanging out there in a center, and that is the little half lines that we're seeing in the body graph. And subconsciously, they're always looking for its opposite side. So if you have a gate that is just hanging out there, you can imagine it like a seeking energy stream that wants to connect with the opposite in order to be able to exchange information, to become a bigger whole and to create an effortless energy flow. But in your energy system, your energy flow is already given. It will not change over your lifetime. So within your energy flow, there will never be the other side, at least not permanently. And the two ways of getting that is, as I said before, through other people, but also through transits. And what happens is when another person brings the opposite side of our hanging gate, the compatible side, then we feel the connection, we feel the spark. But also transits can have the same impact. How does that work? Obviously, the planets are always there around us. They're not only here in the imprint of the time of our birth, but they're consistently moving around the Earth, or let's say the Earth is rather moving around the Sun and with all the other planets. And therefore, we can feel an impact. Most people know it from the moon, feeling the effect of the full moon or the new moon, or we feel the sun that is circulating each day, or we're circulating around the sun each day and therefore feeling the sun energy and the light. But all other planets also, depending on their constellation, will obviously have an energetic impact on us. And each planet stands for a different area of our life. Venus, for example, stands for love, relationship, beauty. Mercury stands for communication, technology, the mind, the thinking. So each planet has a different area or different aspect about humanity, and therefore rules over these certain areas of life. And therefore, depending on which gate this energy is activating at the moment, we will maybe feel an impact on that specific part or area of our life. So let me give you an example. I usually have an open solar plexus, which is responsible for emotional energy. But I have one gate hanging there, which is dormant, meaning I do not consistently have access because it's just hanging out there, but I do not have the baseline energy of the solar plexus activated in me. If a transit activates gate 39, which would be the opposite, the composite of my chart 55, suddenly these two energies can click into each other, and now I will have access, conscious access to my gate 55 and the meaning behind that. And that means that now an energy flow, a channel, is formed between gate 39 and 55, and therefore the energy can flow, in this case from my root center, into the solar plexus and activate that center for a certain amount of time. Which means for this short period of this transit, I will be or feel emotional suddenly. So having emotional energy in order to learn about that. And that is really what the transits are here. This is what the transits are good for. They're here to teach us something individually, but also collectively. There's always certain themes, certain tendencies that align with the evolution, with the timeline. And we need all these steps in order to evolve and to grow individually, but also collectively speaking. So we can see that the transits will have a different impact on each individual. However, they're always felt collectively as well in a way. Just how it hits for a person, that might look very unique, because going back to my example, not every person will have gate 55. So if you do not have gate 55, you might not feel that transit of the gate 39 from my example so strongly, because it will not have the opposite and will not form a channel. If you, for example, already have gate 39, you will even feel it less, because you usually have that energy anyways, and therefore you might not feel it so strongly, maybe just a little bit amplified. So we can see from person to person, it really differs on how the transits hit us, what they do to us, what they do to our chart, and therefore what energies or what learning experiences come out. Sometimes we have transits that activate a full channel, and that's really when collectively we're really feeling this energy, and it will give whole humanity access to these two centers and to the full channel. And that can mostly be felt very strongly by a lot of people. And that's sometimes why a lot of people have the same theme, saying a lot of stress at the moment, or a lot of people feel emotional at the same time, because we're going through the transits. A really important thing here is to understand that this is not permanent. This will always just be a short moment of time, and ideally you understand it, go there with awareness in order to learn how to deal with that energy, and in order to learn what's here for you to learn. And that's why going into the transits, understanding them, what they do with your chart, is really, really helpful on navigating your life in a better way, on maneuvering all the circumstances, all the situations that are coming up for you, and sometimes can also be helpful to plan ahead if there's something important like a launch or like an important meetup where you know this is going to be the energies that are in play, and you're prepared for it and you go there with awareness. Because let's say, back to my example, I suddenly will have emotional waves, which I usually don't. Then I know, okay, this is why I feel this way, or this is what could potentially show up for myself. And therefore, being an observer and not getting myself be dragged into emotional energy, and in the worst case, even making emotional decisions, because this is actually not part of my baseline frequency. So it's always important to know your own chart, coming back to who you are, not getting distracted from the energy that you feel from the transits, however, being aware with it and learning from it. The same counts for encounters that we have who activate certain parts of us. We're here to learn from them, and we're not here to lose ourselves in that energy that gets created through the composite chart or coming from another person. So if you want to learn more about your individual chart, and that is so helpful really to understand also what the transits can do to you, then you can book a reading with me. Also, what we can do in an advanced reading is that we look in the transits, we can look in the month ahead, or even to a specific point in time. Maybe you want to marry or anything like that, and see what energies are in play and what can you expect and what can you maybe also learn from that time. So yeah, let me know if that resonates. Let me know if you have any further questions, anything that you want me to talk about. And yeah, thank you for being here. I'm sending you so much love, and bye for now.